In this section, I am discussing just a behavior or a facility which is provided by TypeScript. You already know that we can fix the data type with this syntax where I say let, const or even var, then the variable name, then you have a colon sign and you give the data type. The data type given after a colon sign is basically the type annotation. It means you are fixing the data type. As such, you can declare a variable without data type, but in that case, TypeScript will consider it as any, and that we have already seen in the previous section. But with the colon sign, following this syntax, you actually annotate the data type explicitly. Now there is one more point. Let's take an example. Here I am going to say let x is equal to 3 and I put a semicolon. Here you see that when I roll over the mouse, it automatically says that x is a number. That means x is of number data type. So here, in spite of not giving any data type, x is considered as number data type in the TypeScript. It is because when there is no explicit type annotation, TypeScript compiler infers, that is assumes, the type according to assigned value. Let's take one more example. Here I am going to say let a is equal to string, let's say test for example. Now if I roll over the mouse here on a, then it is assumed that a is a string and x is a number. So certainly you have a choice to annotate, that is the type annotation. You give the type after the colon sign, but in case if you don't and there is a value assigned to it, then this is called as the type inference. That means TypeScript infers or assumes the type depending on the assigned value. This also means in case if I try to assign a is equal to x, then the error which you see is that number is not assignable to type string, you see. So the data type is fixed by TypeScript when you assign the value. So looking at this error, it clearly means that depending on the type of value assigned to a variable, TypeScript infers or assumes, or in other words, decides the data type as well. So this section we discussed about a feature or the behavior of TypeScript called type annotation and type inference. So now the relative question is, when does TypeScript infers the data type? So there are various situations where even though you have not given the type annotation, that is if you have not explicitly defined the data type, TypeScript infers the data type. There are three situations which I can explain right now. The first situation is TypeScript infers the data type when you have value assigned to it, like this one. So here you have already given 3, which is a number. So TypeScript infers that x is number. The second possibility is in case if you have a function, let's say I have a function called sum. Here if I say a is equal to 3, that is I am assigning the default value here. So now in case of a and b, these two variables are treated as number because I have given default value here. So when you apply the default value for function parameters, TypeScript automatically infers the data type. The third situation is when a function is returning a specific type of value. Let's say here I define the return type, I say number here. Now if I just try to get the value, for example I say let a is equal to sum, maybe I pass some values, that doesn't matter. In this case also a is treated as number automatically. Here also the type is inferred, and the reason is because this function is going to return a numeric value, it means a will be a number data type. So let me summarize these three situations. Here are the points where the TypeScript infers the data type.